Hi, I'm Vasily, the host of the Daily Recall Show, and this is the place where I share the things I have learned and understood well so that you get to think yourself smarter in just 5 minutes a day. And today I will talk to you about a simple idea that will turn your brain into a problem solving machine so that you don't have to do any proactive work at all. It will just keep solving problems for you, right? So that sounds a little bit of an exaggeration, and I know, but trust me, 3.5 minutes later, I will walk you through the simple three-step process and you will get to see how it works for yourself. Okay? So let's begin from outlining what this thing is for. You've probably got many problems hanging around in life and you constantly think of them. And the problems are not just things like send humans to Mars, right? Or define new quantum computer equations, stuff like that, like the big things. Those are really like daily life stuff that you have to deal with. And those things, they are hanging around and they are constantly demanding your attention. And this thing actually reduces your creative output by a lot. The problem with these problems is that you think of them, not about them. And there is a very interesting idea that if you haven't defined this problem clearly, then your brain cannot actually help you in any way whatsoever. It can just kind of keep throwing this stuff at you. This is what it does, right? Because you constantly think like, oh, I gotta finish this paper or I gotta like make money or something. But you're not moving forward on any of them. And the reason why you're not moving forward is because you haven't done the thing that I'm going to teach you in a couple seconds. So you think of problems, not about them, and we need to change that. And the simple process that I'm going to teach you is exactly what you need. The way it works is that it structures your thought. It structures your thought towards outcome and towards resolving the problem instead of just thinking of the problem. Okay? And once you do that, your brain just starts solving this thing automatically. And it takes like literally 30 seconds or 2 minutes to do that. But once you do that, you kind of upload the thing to your brain and then it does wonders for you. Okay? So let's walk through the process. You probably have some problem in life that is demanding your attention. And that might be any sort of problem. Okay? Like, oh shit, I need to submit this like taxes and they've got these new forms or that recently changed and I have no idea how to actually do that. So that's a problem that I will take as an example. The first step to structure your thinking and to let your brain actually help you is to write the thing down. Okay? You need to take this vague definition of a problem that is like flying around somewhere and you need to take a pen, a piece of paper, or your iPhone and a note-taking app and just write the thing down as it is. And you do not have to define it like very specifically, right? Just write it down. Like, I need to make more money or I need to submit this paper by next week and I have no fucking idea how I'm gonna do that. Just write it down. That's the first step, okay? So what this actually did to your brain right now, if you actually did that, is it took this thing from your working memory. That's a very important idea that your working memory can actually hold just a couple objects at a time. There are different theories, but they all come to share that it's just a couple things. And when you are holding this thing in your memory, when you're thinking of this problem, not about it, you're actually just doing yourself in because really badly, because your brain is kind of fucking around and not doing anything on solving this problem. The function that your brain is performing in this state is that it kind of keeps throwing the thing at you so that you do something about it, right? So the first step, write the thing down. The second step, which is the most interesting and the most unobvious one, is to think proactively, what do you actually want to get out of this problem, okay? And if the problem is to like, oh, I gotta deal with this taxes thing that's coming up next month, then the successful outcome, what you actually want to get is submit taxes. And you might add the date if you want, but just clarifying the outcome that you wish to achieve from resolving this problem. This is the most important part in this whole video. So if you just take nothing but this part, that would be great, because when you do this, you actually change the thought process. And it does wonders, because when you change the thought process, it actually changes the brain on the physical level. So you kind of like are a magician of sorts, right? So when you do this, you change the thought process and your brain starts thinking about the problem, not of the problem. So it recognized that this is what we need to do, okay? And now you turn your brain from being a master and throwing at you stuff into being a servant that can actually help you do these things on autopilot. And to let your brain do this on autopilot, you need to do one more thing. This is the third step in this whole process. It is to outline the very first idea that might get you closer to this successful outcome, okay? So if you had nothing to do in this world, like literally no any things whatsoever, what would be the one thing that could get you closer to this successful outcome? Just write it down. So we've got three things written down. The vague definition of a problem, like I gotta make more money, I gotta like do this taxes thing. Then the successful outcome, that's the second one. I need to submit taxes next month, or submit taxes next month. And then the first thing, like the tiniest next step, the tiniest thing that you can do to actually get closer to that successful outcome, which is go read more stuff on new taxes format, something like that, in our case, right? And that's all you need to do. Just put this away now, okay? So what happens now is best described by what I call the neurosurgeon metaphor, okay? So if you imagine that you are a neurosurgeon, the guy who operates people's brains, you would not really want to operate your own brain, right? To do surgery on your own brain, because that's a really bad idea and you cannot actually do that. You will die, right? So you would invite a colleague to actually help you do that, to do surgery on your brain instead of just taking this knife and cutting your brain in half and just doing this thing there. But that's exactly what you're doing every single day when you're not following this process, okay? So you're trying to use your brain to actually do something within your brain. And that's such a dumb idea. So don't do that. Just write the thing down, define the successful outcome, and outline just one single idea, one next step that might get you closer towards that outcome. And then your brain starts working for you. So your brain can start thinking about the thing without you doing anything, and you will be in the shower, I don't know, having a wonderful date, walking around, and then you will hear an idea on how to actually solve the problem. And the coolest thing of all is that this applies to any problem at all. So anything from getting the trash out to sending humans to Mars can be amplified with this simple three-step process of writing the thing down, defining the outcome, and outlining one step that might get you closer to that outcome. You don't have to do this like Microsoft project planning kind of stuff, outlining some charts and workflows and stuff. That's really bad. That might be useful for some things, but usually it's just procrastination. So just do that and then let your brain help you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've tried this thing, and let me know in the comments if it did any good to you. Take care.